Throughout boxing history, heavyweights have emerged out of nowhere, but we tend to notice them only if they can punch. It's safe to say that before the 2008 Olympics, only a handful of Americans knew of Deontay Wilder. That Wilder won a bronze medal at those games was a surprise. At the Olympics, the 6'7" Wilder got by on size, reach, and athleticism. 9 years later, it's not a stretch to say that from a boxing standpoint, Wilder remains somewhat of a work in progress. But he's the WBC heavyweight champion, he's undefeated, and he's KO'd 37 of his 38 opponents. A heavyweight who can hit like that? We noticed Wilder a long time ago. Now we're riveted by him. Not bad for a fighter who, as a young adult, worked as a waiter at an IHOP in order to support his family. Historically, heavyweights mature later than the fighters of any other division. Wilder turned pro at 23, so his handlers were smart to keep him busy. He fought often, partly because he was learning, and partly because his bouts were mostly first or second round KOs. There was no need for extended rest. In December 2012, Showtime first aired Wilder in a step-up fight against another tall, unbeaten heavyweight, Kelvin Price.
God bless.
In round 3, Wilder practically ran at Price, setting up his overhand right with a jab. Boom!
Oh, what a shot! There it is! Price down and maybe out. The right hand delivers. Just like that, Deontay Wilder picks up his 26th knockout in his 26th pro bout.
Then the hits just kept on coming. On Showbox, Wilder faced a former world titleist in Sergey Lahovich. Wilder didn't just drop Lahovich.
There's a right hand, drives Lahovich into the ropes, down he goes.
He turned him into a quivering mess. Fortunately, Lahovich wasn't badly hurt. One fight later, the victim was a game Nikolai Further, who attacked in an effort to force Wilder into retreat. Further made it into the 4th round, but his fate was a familiar one.
Oh, and that stiff right hand drops Further on the spot. And Further, just like the rest, will not see the 5th round.
A right hand sent him down, and the referee saw no reason to issue a count.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Stand up, baby.
Wilder was a giant with a devastating punch, good looks, and a gift of gab.
They want to see the knockouts, and baby, every time Deontay Wilder have a show, that's what y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna come and get y'all money, baby.
Slowly but steadily, a shift was developing. There hadn't been an American-born heavyweight titleist since 2006. That was about to change. It was time for the big time.
Are we looking at the next American heavyweight champion?
With Wilder challenging the heavy-handed Haitian Berman Stavern for the WBC title. Wilder dominated despite suffering a stress fracture in his right hand.
There's a 1-2 by the challenger, another right hand, and now Wilder pouring on the pressure at the bell. And a takedown at the bell by Stavern. Wow.
In round 7, all 3 judges scored 10-8 for Wilder, despite the absence of a knockdown.
Oh, the right hand! And Wilder now going on the attack. Stavern trying to cover up along the ropes.
What didn't happen? For the first time in his pro career, Wilder did not score a knockout. Extending from 4 rounds to 12 rounds was certainly a long-term positive, as was the fact that Wilder stood up to Stavern's power punches. That quieted the critics who had questioned Wilder's chin.
Wilder started with the jab. He finishes it with the jab.
Wilder was 33-0 and a world titleist. No one was suggesting he was the top heavyweight in the world. Klitschko still held that distinction. But he had beaten his first legitimate top 10 opponent, and at age 29, his future sizzled and sparkled. In America, the heavyweight division mattered again.
Oh, say can you see Deontay Wilder is the WBC heavyweight champion?
Five months after dethroning Stavern, Wilder defended against a tall puncher from Texas named Eric Molina. The fight was a homecoming. It took place in Birmingham, Alabama, 60 miles from Wilder's home in Tuscaloosa.
A thunderous ovation for the man who looks to continue to put the BAM in Alabama.
It was the first world title fight ever held in the state of Alabama. Molina had been KO'd in one round by perennial contender Chris Arreola, so expectations were low.
Oh, and the left hook drops Molina! There's a right hand, he turns his back, down goes Molina! This crowd ready to erupt like a volcano as they anticipate the end. Clubbing right hand, Molina goes down for the third time.
The challenger proved tough and stubborn, somehow lasted until the ninth. In that round, Wilder connected with a right that instantly ended the fight.
Well, there's a great shot, and he goes down faster than a plate of Alabama barbecue. And that is it. Wilder seals the deal.
A familiar scene. When Wilder's victim fell, the referee didn't bother to count. Next up for Wilder was Johann Duhaupas, a Frenchman who hardly inspired fear. Again, fighting at home in Alabama, Wilder hammered Duhaupas from the start, bloodying him and leaving him black and blue, but failing to knock him down. Such was the severity of the beating that after the seventh round, the referee Jack Reese went to the challenger's corner and warned him, "If you don't show me that you're competitive, I'm going to have to stop the fight." The fight could have been stopped at any point. It lasted until the 11th, when about a dozen unanswered punches brought Reese's intervention.
Very impressive with those inside punches and just, on to the next assignment.
The heavyweight division is usually tissue thin. So even if the titleists intend to face dangerous opposition each and every time out, they're simply not able to do so. In January 2016, Wilder took on an obscure southpaw from Poland, Artur Szpilka. Wilder's critics excused the relatively soft matchmaking for one simple reason. After Szpilka, Wilder would face mandatory challenger Alexander Povetkin, a former champion who was both accomplished and dangerous. First things first.
Referee Mike Griffin calls for the bell.
Szpilka proved tricky and awkward,
Double jab from Szpilka.
even rallying to catch Wilder in round 5.
Oh, and he got caught there.
But Wilder's right hand enabled him to keep control, particularly in the 6th and 8th.
You feel like something's going to land somewhere here that's going to make a difference.
Then came one punch in the 9th.
Oh, Szpilka's down.
Oh, wow, okay.
An instant candidate for KO of the year.
Well, you question Deontay Wilder's power. The proof is in the banana pudding as he just turned the lights out on Artur Szpilka.
It served as a chilling reminder of what Wilder was still capable of doing with his right hand. Szpilka remained flat on the canvas for several minutes and was hospitalized as a precaution. As it turned out, Alexander Povetkin would not be Wilder's next opponent. When Povetkin tested positive for a PED, the fight was scrapped. It wouldn't be the last time Wilder would be denied a chance to prove himself against top-shelf opposition. A couple of months after the disappointment of the Povetkin cancellation, Wilder faced California's Arreola, a rugged and popular longtime contender who had always fallen short in his biggest fights. Wilder dominated, but not without having to overcome adversity.
Wilder fires out a right hand and another.
He used his jab to bloody Arreola and keep him on the outside.
Chopping right hand and then a hook from Wilder, and then he steps in. That's a hard right hand.
But midway through the bout, Wilder suffered 2 major injuries.
Hard right hand, and down goes Arreola.
He broke his right hand and tore his right biceps.
Only a few seconds left, but a hard right hand by Wilder, and Arreola is hurt. Back with another hook.
Still, he won by TKO after 8 rounds. 2 weeks later, Wilder underwent surgery for both injuries. In February 2017, Wilder's comeback fight was supposed to be against Poland's Andrew Warczyk, but, déjà vu, 1 month before the scheduled fight, Warczyk tested positive for a PED. Out went Warczyk, in came unbeaten former football star Gerald Washington. Wilder was tentative, and Washington threw enough jabs to steal a couple of rounds. Then in the 5th, Wilder again showed why he's so compelling.
It all changes. Wilder with the right hand, and down goes Washington.
He dutifully rose, but Wilder's follow-up assault was furious.
Big left hand. Mike Griffin is getting closer. Washington is hit again. Wilder is talking to the crowd, saying, "I told you." Deontay Wilder, 38-0, 37 KOs.
Поединок за звание второго номера рейтинга IBF. За право встретиться з братом.
Стів Каннінгем плакав після бою навіть. Ну, то
пока что у нас, хотел сказать, развед так вот. Он назвал...
Ну, він, здається, зараз веде свій твіттер просто під час бою. Виглядає це доволі кумедно. Ну, і...
Нельзя Каннингема назвать нокаутером, кстати, из 25.
Треть тисне масою, вагою і одразу не пробачає цього Тайсон Ф'юрі.
Это обрабатывая корпус Каннингема право.
Ну, не знаю, не може не подобатися глядачам і біля екранів телевізорів, і в залі на Медісон Сквер Гарден. Просто
Стоит корпусом.
Рити велетенські.
Да, вообще как бы очень редко. Гораздо более зрелищней. Вау! Каннингем, конечно, сейчас потерял.
Ой!
Левой рукой отодвинул, в общем-то, голову соперника.
Nice and light, plenty of head movement, dipping as low as he pot. And the key for Tyson is everything's going to be behind that jab. Lovely uppercut, but even though dipping low is dangerous.
A point away from Chisora if he does it again.
Well, Tyson landed a nice little combination there, but
Chisora, so you, in a way, you're kind of the ideal guy to actually. That's in the early stages of this fight, really, Chisora.
nice little shot there from Fury again, which he had a lot of success in the first fight.
Good body shot. A couple of nice punches and good fast hands from Fury.
Tyson just not quite quick enough to make him pay, but he wasn't far off.
Oh, that's a good shot from Fury.
To the southpaw, which makes it, like you said, it's a whole new way of thinking about.
He's got a whole other thing to think about.
Chisora backpedaling.
Tough as Derek is, you know, to take this kind of punishment, how much that can affect the fighter, especially from the southpaw position where he's like he's standing now.
That's good work from Fury off the ropes there. Yeah, he's just counteracting it.
In way we're training, definitely going to stay focused throughout the whole fight. None of those.
Oh, he's caught him with a solid left hand. And there's a little bit of a wobble from Chisora. He was off balance, but he looks a bit stunned here. Bad blood is what they've called it between these two.
Nice little uppercut there off the ropes. This is the shot here now. Just stumbled there a little bit, didn't he?
He was off balance, but it's still a cute shot, isn't it?
It's a good shot, it is. Good shot. Happy with his work at the moment, Chisora.
Oh, it's a good shot. The beauty of heavyweights, sometimes it only takes one shot. A lot of these Fury jabs have been taken on the gloves, but there's others like those which are...
Where you got to think about your fighter and his future, and if he wants to continue this fight. Too much punishment.
He's getting a pasting.
Yeah, he's getting a bit of a going over now, especially when Fury's come up with a little bit of intent in this round.
Monkey mentioned what their plans were, and it's working. You know,
surely.
Yeah, it's been everything for Fury, and you couldn't even question it, could you? To be honest.
Yeah,
Fury catching Chisora as he came in with a knife.
He's going to want to continue no matter what.
There comes a point, though, doesn't there? You know better, Yumo, as well as any, you two guys. You've both been there. There comes a point where there has to be a compassion and still Fury just picking him off from range and using decent footwork to stay away from what lunging attacks Chisora is able to produce.
Notice he's not using too much of the ring either. He's staying in range. He's doing so many different things and throwing so many different kinds of punches.
Terrifically impressive, though, in his win against Pulev, one of his career best performances.
Yeah. Wild swings, big right hands you can see coming, you know what I mean? So, may rather go in that direction than this one.
Fury in any sort of trouble here, and I don't think he's seeing a lot out of that right eye now.
He's knackered as well, John. He looks really tired.
Money, if you'd spent 500 quid to sit at ringside, you might be saying that, but I mean, it's all about getting...
But certainly it was just sort of calling Fury on. Oh, lovely right hand, left hand, back left hand there from Tyson Fury, looking at the referee as well.
I know, I think Tyson would like this one to be finished now, and I think I'll take 10 points to his tally.
Yeah, and it's been a mature display, hasn't it, from Tyson Fury.
Oh, it's time. Come on, ref.
Okay. It's finished. Reluctantly, I think Derek Chisora's agreed, and the fight is over. And Tyson Fury, in a fight he has dominated from word go, wins this one. Well, he's been around the gyms before he really settled with Peter, but they've talked about his skill. I remember talking to Joe Gallagher about that. He's
puncher in the division, but his boxing ability, his movement is tremendous. And the guy in front of him is tired or frustrated. I think that's what Tyson implemented.
Confidently. Hammer trying to walk him down, get him into range to land something of note so far. Well, that's a lovely left hand.
They can all hit at that weight, obviously, but he hits hard enough to keep you away, that's for sure.
Oh, look at that. He's enjoying himself. And here's some of the action from that opening round, and you see that he might be a huge old unit, Tyson Fury, but he's got good footwork.
Keep that jab in his face all the time. Good shot.
Fury do it.
Good. It's a good tactic there for Hammer. Oh, lovely uppercut there from Fury. And fast hands as well. You sort of tend to forget that about Tyson. Very fast hands for a big fella. They're a little bit too wide, the steps.
Hammer's looking for that one. To avoid. That's better from Hammer.
Good shots. And again, through the guard there.
Good footwork again. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good work.
He's just not getting into position to land big shots. He tried there, but it was easily.
Over the years, how to use that reach, how to use that height to his advantage.
Final.
Good shot there from Fury.
Nice shot. Uppercut. Few chance of Fury going up. Boxing this fella.
And leaning on him as well. He was
a mighty lump of weight as well. Yeah. He is a big man. Oh, great shot. Terrific right hand. That is a quality punch. What hurts is what you don't see, and Christian Hammer just didn't. Now Tyson Fury will go looking for him. He's looking to put him away here now.
See the punches coming.
We talked about, well, that's a good, decent shot from Hammer, but we talked about the hand speed of Fury, yep. And that was what actually paid dividends there. Another good left hand from Fury. And the right hand. Still got a smile on his face. He's taking some massive shots now.
Taking your chance, taking your time.
Oh, good shot. That wasn't even it wasn't that short, that right hand, was it? It was turned from the waist, caught him on the temple. Good little body shot just to start that little combination off. Look at that, right on the top of the head. Didn't see it, John, you're right.
It was a terrific shot.
Oh, look at that.
Speed kills.
Really does. He does have fast hands for the finish. Just patient.
Well, look how well it was, baby.
Oh, good body shot there for Fury, and uppercut.
Good work. That's nice. Just to send a little bit of a message to potential...
Where Tyson was. It's a good little tactic. You always keep turning your opponent when you're being close. Lovely.
Rated Tyson Fury, and he's done nothing here to dissuade that opinion.
I never thought he'd make it. Honestly, that's what I thought about him. Talent, he was getting more mature.
He's had good sparring as well, hasn't he, with Eddie Chambers? Good work here.
You got to remember, he was 22.
Well, here's some of the action from that 7th round. Hammer trying to put pressure on him, but they keep talking about the footwork and the way he spun him there. Beautiful.
Tremendous, isn't it? It really is. It's natural, that is, as well. That's something.
It's all been Tyson Fury so far.
Start off the round.
In that 5th round, but he seems to have recovered pretty well. Nice uppercut. Animated advice. He backs here across our microphones from the German corner.
Lovely shot there. Lovely.
You're just trying to make a fight of it.
That's what you say. Oh, they've thrown the towel in. I think they've thrown the towel in. I think they've pulled him out.
For the heavyweight championship of the world. Under the left eye of Vladimir Klitschko. A cut on the cheek. Not to Tyson Fury. So Fury, and remember, Harold is unofficial. He's not one of the scoring judges for the fight.
Mainly because Vladimir is not punching. I mean, look at that. Vladimir certainly can hit harder. You know, he can knock out with it.
He said Fury beat him to the punch with the left jab. They both threw hook, but Fury beat him to the punch. Then Fury lands a weak left, a weak right, and another left.
And landed punches counted by Copy.
Oh, good shot.
Big left hook by Fury. As Vladimir momentarily lost himself in the ring and got hit.
Whatever he got, then Fury hits with a good left hook right on the chin, and that was his best punch of the fight so far. And drops his hands right after because he knows Klitschko not going to do nothing. Then he hit him with a left.
Oh, left hook for Fury. Klitschko went for a home run left hook and got caught with it.
That hurt him. He got caught with
left hook
another
for Fury.
The DQ would be if Fury is caught with another rapid punch.
He's trying.
This hugging isn't going to help.
No, but he's trying to fight for a change. I mean, you got to give him credit. He tried.
Either the heavyweight championship of the world.